Good morning. It's great to be here. My name is Mohit Pande, and I lead the cloud business for Google in India. I'm going to take the next 15 odd minutes just to talk about how cloud is not just revolutionizing what all of us and all of you are doing, but really what we need to do with cloud is not to do what is available now, but how can it enable you to build what's next. As you move to the cloud, there are a lot of questions which come to you. And let me kind of try and illustrate this with a data set. Can anybody guess what this is? Okay, this is the number of transactions which Pokemon Go experienced when they started off. Anybody heard of Pokemon Go here? Any players? When Pokemon Go, and I'll just go back to that slide for a bit, when they initially thought of the traffic they'll get, they thought they'll get X. They thought in the worst case, they'll get 5X. When they launched in Australia and New Zealand, in the first 15 minutes, they realized they've got something special in their hands. It went beyond their wildest dreams. And the reason a company like Niantic could build Pokemon Go and make it such a runaway success was because they were cloud. Pokemon Go used a number of services on the Google Cloud platform. This was the largest deployment of Kubernetes on the Google container engine. They used a lot of Google's premium network to ensure that there's no latency. They used we have undersea cables. They were Pokemon Go players under the sea as well, under ponds, etc. But the point was that cloud today is enabling such kind of new businesses, new use cases. And as developers, that is something which you probably want to do. Pokemon Go, Evernote, and millions of other businesses really get powered by the Google Cloud platform. Today, the GCP, as we call it, serves over 1 billion end users every day. Google has, apart from the Google Cloud platform, 7 other properties like Maps and Gmail and YouTube and Play and Search and Android and so on, which have 1 billion users, and all of them run off this platform. So as you move towards your journey to the cloud, you're probably thinking that it's not just about what am I doing today to really take my existing computing infrastructure onto the cloud, probably for saving costs, probably for getting better scalability, probably for getting better security. But what is it that you can do with cloud, or what is it that it can enable you to do to build something which is either a new business or really drives user engagement or drives incredible user efficiency? And as I explain that what we are trying to build with the Google Cloud platform, which is significantly different, I'll just take a quick step back and try and go back into history about the evolution of Google Cloud, of cloud. Cloud is not really new. It's been there for 20 years. 20 years back, people moved their physical infrastructure into colo locations. The idea was that instead of really having my own machines in my own data center, I'll probably leverage somebody else's real estate space. I'll probably rent it out there. I'll save costs and maybe gain some efficiencies by really leveraging efficiencies of scale. That was the first phase of cloud computing. As we move on, the second phase, which exists with most public cloud providers today, is pretty much the same thing. I mean, the components which exist in the cloud are exactly similar to what it used to be earlier. You've got CPUs, you've got storage, you've got networking, you've got load balancers. The difference is that it's virtualized now. So for stuff for which you used to probably raise a purchase order a couple of years back to kind of get a new server or set of servers or storage, today it's become an API. But that's incredible value because today that allows you efficiencies and scale. You can spin up thousands and thousands of virtual machines in an instant. But this is incredibly complex as well. As a developer, instead of developing cool new things, you continue to talk about babysitting the infrastructure. Have I provisioned enough capacity? Am I provisioning over capacity? Have I patched the operating systems, and so on and so forth. So it really takes away your focus from doing what you want to do to kind of managing the infrastructure. Like a lot of companies which are using this kind of a cloud, at Google, 10 years back, we were using the same thing when we realized that if we have to build the scale of what we want to, if we have 8 products which can serve 1 billion people every day, we'll probably need to change how cloud works for us. And that really started off the core thinking around the Google Cloud Platform. It's auto-scale, it's auto-manage. Products like YouTube, Maps, Gmail, etc. have got millions and millions of users at any point in time, yet our developers are driving code updates without any significant disadvantage. So they're really focusing on what they need to do without worrying about the infrastructure at the back end. Now that is what we call the third generation of the Google Cloud Platform. And that is exactly what is available to you. We have got services like, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So for example, the App Engine. You can build highly scalable apps. Snapchat, if anyone uses Snap here, runs on that platform. You could build highly scalable products without worrying about any administration overheads. You could literally build your app with almost zero administration time on that. BigQuery, those of you who've heard about that. BigQuery gets you data insights the instant you start using it. You do not need to spin up clusters for driving analytics there. Dataproc, another managed service, a managed Hadoop and service from Google, can spin up in less than 90 seconds. So it's really driving value out of those platforms rather than managing those platforms themselves. And when we talk to customers, they say that they are already running different kinds of clouds. Some are their private clouds, some running hybrid clouds, some are running other public cloud providers. So a multi-cloud world is a reality today. The other thing is that customers also tell us that they want to adopt open source, and open source in a way which is significant. You want to get your legacy apps, which you would have built in your enterprises, and bring them over to the cloud as well. And Google embraces all of these tenets as we think about our cloud platform. The other thing which really differentiates the Google Cloud Platform really is the ability to manage the entire life cycle of your data. It does not matter whether you're using structured data, you're using unstructured data. The speaker before me really spoke about, today data comes in hordes. We've got Internet of Things, we've got social, we've got pictures, we've got videos, we've got sentiments. So whether you're using structured data, unstructured data, whether you're using a relational database, whether you're using NoSQL, blob storage, block storage, Google has it all today and is available to you in a way which is very, very easy to manage and very, very affordable for you. And when you have your data available and you're driving insights, and when you have brute computing power, there is various kinds of machine learning platforms which are available again for you today. Google has a huge amount of a consumer footprint which allows us to train some of the common machine learning models. So the ones on the left really are the ready-to-use machine learning models. So if you want to use speech or translate or video or photos, etc., you do not need to build those models from your own. If you've used Google Photos at any point in time today, we realize that just a consumer technology like Google Photo allows you to search photographs by just typing text sentences. And you could probably take that as an API and build it into your own models which you are developing. The Video Intelligence API, we just announced a beta of that a couple of weeks back. It's incredible. You could see a video and you could search your huge video inventory like you search on the internet. You could search for, videos of the Muhammad Ali's fight with Fraser when it happened, and it'll continue to give you those search results. And the moment you tap on that, it'll go to that video and that scene which is running there. So these are ready-to-use machine learning models. But should you have use cases where you want to use your own data to train those models? That's possible. Or should you want to build your own model itself? TensorFlow and that whole framework, which is actually an offshoot of what Google did as a project internally, is available to you as well. So flexibility in how you really want to drive that. And it's not just the data, it's not just the machine learning models, but the entire range of core infrastructure services is available on the Google Cloud Platform. So should you want to just use infrastructure as a service, or just virtual machines, or storage, or archival, it is, or really networking, load balancing, it's available to you here as well. And all of that comes to you at a price which is unmatchable. Because we are more efficient in the way we handle these things, because we have very innovating licensing model, there is no need for a ministry of reserved instance. Those of you who understand what I'm trying to say. For the same workloads which you run on this platform, you could probably run it at 60% cheaper. This really means that you do not need to pay for an hour if you've just used that virtual machine for 20 minutes. You have per-minute billing. You do not need to get into upfront contracts or reserved instances, because Google gives you a sustained usage discount. The more you use, the more you use this infrastructure, the discounts automatically kick in. So there is nothing upfront which is needed from you. The more you use, the cheaper it gets for you. So how do you get started with this platform? It does not matter where you are on your cloud journey. You could be building your own cloud, or you are probably using another cloud provider. GCP will provide you almost immediate value the moment you start using it. A few examples are mentioned on the slide here. You could use for archiving and disaster recovery. With our nearline storage, you get archival at the cost of tapes, but with almost availability of online. If you want to really get insights out of your data, BigQuery, Dataflow, Dataproc, there are a lot of offerings from Google which start giving you immediate value the moment you start using them. You do not need to set up clusters and really start managing, as I said earlier, babysitting the infrastructure for doing that. You need insights out of data, you will get insights out of data. Test dev environments, the innovation which comes from Google on platforms like our App Engine, etc., allow you a great development platform. And just compute, if you just want compute. If you need 20,000 cores for 20 minutes, if you need it for 2 hours, 20 minutes, it's available to you. It's cheap, and like I said, it's really up the scale on price performance. So with that, I am towards the end of my session. It was really great talking to all of you, and hope you have a great rest of the day and the rest of the conference. There is a Google booth outside in the display area. Please do visit and talk to our teams there on to go deeper into some of the things which I just mentioned. Thank you so much.